Have you heard about call tracking software, but you have no idea how to start? Well, I'm not going to lie, it's fairly complicated to set up, but I promise it is the most high value activity you can do as a law firm owner. Let's talk about the different types of call tracking, how to implement it, um, and then we'll go from there into some practical next steps to get this up and running for your business because it's such a great high value ROI activity that you can do as a law firm owner. Number one, most ubiquitous and common is going to be call tracking, but then we also have this other side, which is form slash chat tracking. So call tracking, probably most common. You've probably heard about this. Call Rail is, I would say, the most popular choice in the space, especially for lawyers. And the basic idea here is that you are going to create some phone numbers that are not your own, but they forward to your phone. And the way you implement them then gives you the ability to know where that person came from to get to the number. There's two ways you're going to implement this, or what they offer from a call tracking a software system is you've got static and then you have dynamic. Static tracking numbers are just one single number that will forward to your main phone line. So an application for this is, let's say you have a billboard or you've purchased an ad in a newspaper, you have a specific law firm profile, directory profile. You can choose one single number. The software you're working with allows those numbers or provides those numbers for you. You'll take that number, go put it into the directory listing or on the billboard, and then you are going to say specifically, okay, this is the billboard number. And then as that number gets called, immediately that data point is going to get fixed onto the lead. And so as the lead comes in, calls to that number, it's going to identify that person as a billboard lead or something like that. If you already have a billboard out there or an ad or profile listing, you cannot retroactively go in and say, oh, I want to make that a tracking number. If you're using your regular phone number out there on it, you have to go and swap that number out. There's just no way to turn your main existing phone line into a tracking number. So the best you can really do is, once you start to implement this, is to go and replace those numbers. And if you do have an ad or on a billboard, you want to just go make sure that it gets changed next time around so that you can get that into your list of tracking numbers. The other way to do this is called DNI, or dynamic number insertion. And this is going to be for your website. The way you use this is you're going to put a little piece of code on your website, and then it's going to swap out your regular number that's listed on the website and use one of their tracking numbers. Typically, they're going to create a pool of numbers, so like 4 to 8 numbers. And then as a user comes onto the website, they are going to dynamically change the number that they're calling. This is the way that they're able to identify where the person is coming from. So they'll tie that number that they've shown to the referral source if they came from Google search, Facebook, any other website, all of that data. So the software, this is really the special sauce here, is that as it comes in, it's going to know where that referral came from, right? So if you ever use Google Analytics, you're able to see the same thing, where it's the source of the lead is getting attached to the person. That's how they do it, and that's really where the magic happens. The other type of this is the form and chat tracking. So the call tracking is basically the same thing, but using this, you want to make sure you're also doing it for any forms, any chat tracking. It's basically the exact same as the DNI, is that as somebody comes onto the website, the software is going to pick up where that person came from. And so if they don't call, but they go through and use the form or chat, start a chat or text, whatever, that data is going to get fixed. Okay, it's going to get fixed and attached to the person, and that's really the special sauce. Then, as you can get that and then look at it in the back end of the website. There's a couple of exceptions that are going to prevent this from working properly that you should be aware of. Number one is retroactively attaching a tracking number to an ad campaign, like I mentioned just a moment ago. With if you already paid for a billboard, the billboard's already out there up on the highway or something, with your regular phone number, this isn't going to work. You would need to attach a tracking number for it in the future. So when a client comes on, one of the first things we do is map out, hey, where are you doing ads? Where are you listed? In terms of law directories, do you have billboards? Do you have, all that sort of stuff, GBPs? And so we put in tracking numbers for all of that. So then everybody coming in, no matter where they're coming from, they're going to the GBP, the find law directory, listing, billboard, mailer, etc. All of those have a fixed phone number and are being tracked accurately in the back end. Another exception when this won't work is if someone calls your true number directly. So again, any calls to your regular true number are not able to be tracked. You have to have this tracking number as part of it. So another that sometimes can create confusion and obscures some of the data to a degree is if someone searches your name directly in Google. This can get categorized as an organic search lead. So really hard to tell because we can't get keyword level data coming in. And so there is going to be a certain amount of people who do search your name, and then that's going to get found as organic, but you're not going to really know if it's for a keyword or searching your own name. And then finally, sometimes the software just does not work. Okay, this is we've tried a handful of different softwares for this, and it's just not realistic to think this is going to work 100% of the time. I think for most part, it's probably 80 to 90% effective. It's very close to a panacea, but it's not going to work all the time. So when you're utilizing this, don't think of it as gospel necessarily, but just a really great tool that you generally want to rely on, right? And if you can get, I always think about focusing on where the margins are, right? The bigger piece of the pie, right? So if you can get the most, kind of cover these larger value items, like knowing generally where your leads are coming from, you're better off than 95% of law firms out there. Lead tracking software is going to have a profound impact on your law firm profitability. So let's dive in and see how you can get this set up.